not been sensitive about, and how is
because y'all were in a chat, quote unquote, dragging me about what? Yes, y'all were. Y'all absolutely were. That's the only reason why I said something. Because 9 times out of 10, I do not talk to you dystopian. I don't say anything negative towards you. So the only reason why I said something towards you is because.
Just a quick second, because Bonnet, dystopian's mic is. I hear the dystopian was not finished yet. You just clarified something with dystopian. Okay. Dystopian was almost done, and again, that's it.
He asked what was said, and I was responding.
And then.
So then I started talking after he asked the question, but go ahead.
Okay. So how was you calling me a very not a homophobic comment?
Because it wasn't...
Wait. And what did you mean by my existence is alive?
You being born. I mean, it had nothing to do... Again, this is what I'm talking about. When people take anything you say and try to make it like you are trying to say something homophobic. My whole thing about the fairy was about all of the people in the chat, not just you, who was being very, very sensitive about the whole conversation. So again, it was explained about the fairy being a homophobic slur at one point, and I said that in the chat. Well, my apologies, but that wasn't what I was trying to say. I was talking about all the people, including the heteros in the chat, who was going off because I had a different idea about the conversation. That's what I said. And I'll say it again. Again, it wasn't about you being a homosexual. Me saying something about your existence had nothing to do with you being a homosexual as well. But that's how y'all gonna take it, because every time you hear something that you don't like from somebody, you automatically assume that they're being homophobic. But every time I done drug somebody on this app, including Matt, I have never used a homophobic slur.
Bitch, you didn't drag Matt.
Oh my God.
I ain't a bitch who always want to be homophobic. It ain't got nothing to do with you. You the fuck up. Nobody's talking to you. You are nobody. Your existence is not...
May I?
Now let that be true.
May I go?
Your existence is also not me. Now here we go.
But it's here though.
Hold on, such a fucking tragedy.
Please,
it's a tragedy that you're here.
Everybody, please.
Yeah, we have to deal with it.
Your mom should have swallowed you.
Everybody, please.
Could have never came out there.
Everybody, please be on.
So that could have came out there wrinkly ass dick.
Excuse me.
Oh,
what?
This is y'all's queen.
And
this is y'all's queen. This is y'all's queen.
Okay, I'll be right back. Give me a quick second. I'll be right back.
It sounds like you mad. It sounds like you mad, though.
And it sounds like you just
okay, so that's what I said. I admit that I said what I said.
Oh, wow.
But I don't admit to actually being homophobic, because that was not the context that I used it. But if that's how you want to do it, quote unquote, if that's what you want to do to label me a homophobic bitch, go ahead.
All right. I'm back and I can mute now. Thank God. Let's be on mute.
Can I say something, please?
You can say something.
I've been waiting to just clear the record on one thing.
We don't need you to clear the record.
No, because I
said what I said, and I didn't.
You get what I'm saying, DJ Pooh? Yeah, I got you.
They're gonna chew your ass alive.
I'm gonna pack up DJ Pooh real quick. DJ Pooh, I'm gonna take you to Subway and make a turkey sandwich out of you and put some motherfucking mayonnaise in there, some lettuce and some tomatoes, some carrots. I'm gonna eat you up and use a coupon and get a lemonade when I check out. You got packed up, DJ Pack.
That was funny.
I swear the fan behavior on this app. Ain't it? Do you be noticing that, Jules?
Yeah, I know. That's what I be telling Naya about it. I was like, whenever Pooh in the room, you got like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That shit could be like, sometimes the fan shit get crazy, and you just see like Dr. Wisdom. Like, we don't even know who that is. Like he just did a rendition of what he's used to you saying.
Right. Sometimes I'm putting you in the mayonnaise. What he saying? I'm putting you in the mayonnaise bag.
He said a bunch of shit. I bet. So Sato versus DJ Pooh, y'all doing murder music.
Try one more time. Okay. You have to add the number of people that moved to Israel. They call it making Aliyah. And this number,
We
I'm
just
sure,
read
is
you
much
the
greater than
stats. You
80,000.
said this is similar to Poland. Please provide your sources. Where did you get the numbers for Poland? And if
I didn't say the numbers were the same. I said the statement.
Well, you said
that
Poland. Please
people are
provide your.
leaving
If you
know what?
think this
You're
is
not
similar to
speaking in
Poland.
good faith. I
If
tried.
you're saying this is similar to Poland, please provide your sources. Otherwise, you can't say this is
Anyway,
similar to.
I didn't say 80,000 people left Poland. You don't
You
understand.
said this is
English very
similar
well,
to
and I'm
Poland.
sorry.
You
God
said
bless
this is
you.
similar
Okay,
to Poland.
alhamdulillah. I wish you the
said
best
this
of
is
luck.
similar to
Muslim.
Poland.
Keep praying for the end of Israel. I don't think it's going to happen.
You said this is similar to Poland. Please provide your sources.
Oh my God, these guys, they cannot handle it, just the title. Can you imagine the wording of title? People, they open rooms, they say, come and suck this, come and do that, do the. Come on, it's title. You got anything to say? Let's talk. If you don't want, you can leave. That's about it. This is just a title. Anti-Semite. Oh, that's not. Change the Palestine to Gaza. Change this. You're not supposed to be. You're not supposed to come here and order us to what to do, what to not. This is America. Go ahead. Who is next? I think Doctor is next. Yaakov. No, sorry. Yaakov. Yaakov. Shabbat Shalom. Okay, he's not talking. Doctor, go ahead. Shabbat
Give me
Shalom.
a second on mic.
Yeah, go ahead, Yakov.
No, you can go. I have slightly different numbers.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just excited to be here. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Yakov.
No, that's fine. Go talk. I defer to you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so excited to be here because, you know, Israelis moving out of Palestine and moving back to Europe is such a great idea and plan. But I sometimes think a lot of these rooms are just low IQ dumb people talking about nothing, wasting all their time. I don't know. Maybe it's loneliness. Maybe it's boredom. Maybe they want to gaslight and create troll titles. Maybe trolls want to come in and troll the trolls. Gaslight the gas. Excuse me? I'm not finished yet. Don't interrupt.
Oh, sorry.
Don't interrupt. I'm not finished yet.
Yeah, go ahead. Continue, please.
So anyways, as I was saying, it's great news that all the Israelis have decided to move out of Palestine, and gaslighters on this app want to waste all their time talking about nothing because they're stupid!
Yeah. So first of all, is the title saying all Israelis are moving out of Palestine? Where did you get the word?
I don't know, you created the room title. Did you just learn English yesterday?
Do you see the word all in the title? Did you learn English tomorrow?
Did you learn anything about how stupid you are today?
How did you assess my IQ?
You don't need to continue with this guy. All right.
Cool.
Anyways, have a great night. I'm so happy for your success. You must be a clown house hero and a real world zero.
We had a fantastic time. Mr. TA is a gas station in America.
Yeah, no, I wanted to, refer to the title of the room, Israelis moving out.
Yeah, Normo, there's a room called
Chat,
Israelis
go
are
back,
moving out of
1
Palestine.
minute, you'll find a link that I put in there. It's a YouTube short, but it shows the Israeli tank regiments that are like offloading right there at the border of the Gaza Strip, and they're about to go through and do a whole new frontal assault. And they're putting a whole tank regiment in. And they're not moving in. They're moving in.
No, this is about Israeli citizens. What does that have to do with Israeli citizens moving out of Palestine?
What, the West Bank?
Mental.
Which part of Palestine are we talking about?
Does the title
For
say
real,
that
Hamas.
the Israeli military is moving out of Gaza? Is that what is that how
Well,
you read the title?
Palestine is 2 different land masses. Tell me which one you're referring to so I stop sounding dumb.
Mr. Batron, when you proposed the title. What did you mean by Palestine?
My mic is not opening. Can you hear me now? What's going on?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. Palestine. That's the nation. Unfortunately, it was stolen from those people, 1948. That's why I named it Palestine. I love it. Beautiful name. Beautiful name.
Actually, they lost it at the end of World War One.
What is that?
Palestina was lost when the Ottoman Empire got crushed in World War One.
Oh, you want to go that far?
Well, that's why the British had the mandate
Farewell,
to be able to control the
Palestine.
ground and be able to, at the end of World War II, provide that ground to the displaced Jews from Germany, sir.
Yeah, but when you talk.
Well, they'd already lost. Just because it had been 50 years since you lost doesn't mean you still had it as yours.
No. It was a game, but when it comes to Israel, it was created in 1948, and United Nations approved that and all those that. Now when
because the British mandated it, yes.
Yeah. So when it comes to Palestine, you take us back to 1700, maybe 1800. I think.
I go back to 131 AD when Palestina was invented by Emperor Hebron or whatever his name was. It wasn't even a thing until he did that and kicked all the Jews out, dude.
Well, I can post the National Geography map, 1948, 1947. It says a whole area was called Palestine. National Geography magazine.
Wow. From what era? Was it when the Ottomans controlled her, or was it when the Romans controlled it?
1947, before you took over. I mean, it was saying.
Oh, your lines didn't matter. I mean, Iraq didn't even exist until Britain decided to call it.
Yeah, so basically I went to my school gym and there was a Lebanese guy and he came to me and said, "Where are you from, bro?" I said, "Mongolia." And then he's like, "Oh, where is Mongolia?" I was like, "Oh, it's somewhere in Asia." And he's like laughing. And then I said, "Where are you from?"
Damn, politically correct is still
I
going.
mean, they are at least telling
Possible.
people, hey,
No way, all day? Holy shit.
People who run this country, they need to step up.
What was that? It's basically chillism, yeah.
Yeah. It's so crazy that this stuff can happen. How does that even work?
I don't know.
They have budgets cut.
People don't have work. They don't have jobs to go to.
Hurricane season around the corner and other things.
Sitting at home all day
really
like me.
Not a good time. It's a soup of a mess, and it's either weather or it's either other things going on. I just pray that this stuff can get a handle on this disease because it's contagious and it's pretty scary looking too.
Praise the Lord. Contagion.
Excuse me?
You are excused.
Alright. Also, I don't understand.
Let's go back to the Israeli gaslight room.
Since October 7, the event of October 7, approximately 12,300 Israelis left the country and had not returned by June 2024, making a 285% increase compared to the same period.
Dr. Danny's here!
Here, I'll post the article that I used my data from.
And that's the Times of Israel.
Yeah, here's the Times of Israel that describes the entire year of 2024.
So it's true that the Israelis left the country.
Yeah, but some returned, and other people made aliyah. Net negative.
Yaakov, Look.
Please don't scroll. I'm just...
Okay.
Yes. 82,700 in the year 2024. But 23,800 returned, Israelis that returned home, and an additional 32,800 were new immigrants, i.e. Jews from around the world making Aliyah or going to Israel. So that leaves a net deficit of 26,100 because 82,000.
Danny, nobody's looking at my new Snapchat account. Why?
22,800, and then you add 32,800. It means you're in the deficit.
Why you're adding bunch of numbers? Just ask ChatGPT and it gives it to you.
Yeah, it pointed me to the article because that ChatGPT didn't give me. I did the same thing in ChatGPT.
I'm gonna send you the link of
look
the
at
news.
The story. Look at the link that I put in the chat.
No, I'm not gonna click on your polluted
it's
link.
Times of Israel.
No, how do I know? It might be polluted. You might have me. I don't trust it.
Okay. Have a good night. If you don't trust
Danny, hold on. I'm about to prank them, Danny.
Try to prove your point.
Yeah, I use data from trusted sources.
Assalamu alaikum.
So make sure you ask ChatGPT how many returned and how many new immigrants also. So you have to. There's three components. Israelis that left. Hold on. Israelis that left. Hold on. I finished my sentence. Yeah, you need three components. So as long as you ask ChatGPT, you'll come up with the exact same numbers I have because it sources the same article.
I want to read one more set of stats. One is the number of businesses, small and medium, which ceased to exist, is about 50,000 since October 7th. Also,
my question is, why are you really? I put it in.
Also, sorry, one moment, I'm speaking. Also, the GDP in 2022, there was a growth of 6.3%. In 2023, it's 1.
Thank you so much. All right. So again, I think that like a lot has been said today. Speaking about a lot being said today, Lydia, one day we're gonna have to talk about your friend opening that room up about people.
What AI will do will allow us to be artists at higher levels of abstraction. So you can be someone that plays the violin, or you can be someone that composes symphonies. And then, like, you can keep going higher and higher at meta levels. So instead of being the painter, you can be the person that designs all of the paintings in a temple. Or you can just, like, create a whole new genre of art. Or you can, make a park and then cover all of the billboards in a park.
Really, you'll see that the growth has varied between 5% and 4.3% quarter. So I did that exercise a few weeks ago when someone was asking me the same set of questions. So the Israeli economy is rather resilient for an economy that's in full-blown war.
Sorry, what do you mean by quarter by quarter?
You asked, like, it essentially is, you take the GDP of, let's say, Q3 in this year, and you compare it with Q4 in this year, or Q1 in the next year with Q4 in the prior year. So you look quarter over quarter.
Okay. But I'm saying with respect to its last year, it's not growing as it used to. That's the claim.
Yeah, slowing down.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's not negative.
So, I said the acceleration. I guess you didn't go to, like, you didn't take physics?
No, I have a master's degree in management from MIT, so I didn't hear you say the word acceleration. So yeah, you can have a negative acceleration.
I don't know if in management they teach. I don't know if in management they do any sort of engineering. But anyways, TA.
Yeah, it's an engineering school, so yes, they do.
I didn't say it's an engineering school or not. I said your major.
Yeah, but
in your
it's mathematics.
Major of studies.
Engineering. It's mathematics.
Also, you took Calc 1.
What? I took
Did you
count
take count
1, count 2. Yeah, I took
What's the
differential
derivative
equation.
of e to the 2x?
Let's give it to you. You know, the
Anyways, next. You can't even take the derivative
I'm a
of a function.
statistician. I deal with statistics, okay?
TA, go ahead. Okay. I don't think you went to school, man.
I think it's Mr. Wizard. Am I right? Wizard?
Yes, this is Mr. Wizard. Yes, I am standing strong with the Palestinian people because what has happened to them is not right. And I agree that the statistics are showing that Israel is slowing down and everyone is moving away and leaving Palestine. And soon the people in Gaza and the people in West Bank, they are going to go back into Israel and they are going to make a good Palestine for themselves. Inshallah, this will happen, but I hope no one gets hurt. I hope no one gets hurt during the regime change and the Palestinians are able to go back to their indigenous homes and get the condos. No, I am from Turkey and my name is Wizard. Don't accuse me of being a fake person like yourself. You are projecting. Yes, you are a fake person. You are gaslighting. You get pranked now, and I just want to say that you guys are doing horrible work and job as propagandists. You're very low IQ and stupid, but that's okay. You'll get better eventually. Keep creating rooms, and soon you'll know one day that you're wasting all your time. And your statistics about the economy are pathetic little economy. Your economy statistics are pathetic. Try to create better content.
Your brother, not to take the derivative of
No, I don't use it. I don't use it on a daily basis. Statistics is another matter. I retired 10 years ago.
Anyways, man, you probably didn't even go to college, but let's just avoid
Standard deviation over sigma divided by the difference between your ass and a hole in the ground is the answer.
Let Yakub please answer. Yakub, go ahead.
Well, I'm just listening. This is funny. But that guy was the same guy as the other guy.
Wait, you said you do statistics?
Yeah. For about 25 years I did survey research
what programming language do you use in a statistic?
I use SAS.
No, what's the other one? What's SAS?
SPSS was a really old school one, but SAS is the biggest one.
What about R?
What? What about what?
R language.
Just the R.
I don't know. I always use SAS because it's what I learned on. And it's probably.
Do you know what SAS is?
Yes, statistical analyst software. Yeah, it's from a company in California, SAS Inc.
Yeah, Yakub, what does the central limit theorem say?
What?
What does the central limit theorem say?
Oh, it's been a long time since I dealt with it.
It's the most important theorem in statistics. You don't know it is.
Well, let me explain something to you.
Anyway, your brother saying we're the stupid ones. I think you're a genius, man.
No, I'm not a genius, but I
thank you for joining this stage. I honestly envy your intelligence and your brother. You guys are very sharp, I think. Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Yakub, are you moving to Israel soon or when? Hey, Mr. Yakub, his mic is not open.
Sorry. No, I have epilepsy. And I had 17 grand mal seizures, which has completely fucked up my memory and my cognition. So yeah, you can ask me a lot of questions that I don't know.
No. I have a simple one. Are you moving to Israel soon?
No, probably 10 or 15 years from now.
Why not now?
Wow.
Because my wife wants to be why? Because my wife wants to be near our grandchildren.
It's gonna be too late, 10, 15 years.
I hope so that I'll move to Palestine.
My worry is you guys are all fighting.
Look, I don't want us to be fighting. I honestly don't want us to be fighting.
Listen, let me talk. You guys are all fighting, but then you're away from your own country, then why don't you go back and help? kind of like confused. It's like you
I can't
having the
fight.
land, but
I can't
you're
fight.
in a foreign country.
I'm ineligible to fight for multiple disabilities. So, unfortunately, I couldn't do
Well,
that.
you don't always have to be in the front line. You can do some sort of a computation for your balance.
I've lost the ability to do that. Epilepsy. I wish none of you get epilepsy. I wish none of you get epilepsy, because then you wouldn't be allowed.
So with epilepsy, you can.
They have to feel sorry for him.
No, it robs you of certain memories. So when you ask me what the central limit theory is, no, it's not something that I can pull off the top of my head. I have aphasia and memory issues. And it's a real pain in the ass. So okay.
Let's
Don't make fun of each other. I never made fun of you.
I hope one of the
Just a second.
No, don't.
Just a second. Mr. Yakub, just for your information, Mr. Candice has PhD in mathematics. So we are not wasting time here. We just came and put the title up. We wanted to discuss.
I would have said, why are Jews moving out of Palestine? Because then that would have been...
Then you had a chance to say, you're
anti-Semite.
I know you're.
I don't get off on saying
They're actually used to those titles, I think.
No, because
it's their job easier.
Because it sounds kind of strange. Israelis are moving out of Palestine. If you say Palestine is all of Israel, then the corollary is Jews should be moving out of Palestine, not Israelis moving out of Palestine.
No, do you know where the name Israel is coming
No.
from?
When Palestine was exist, Jews, Gentiles, Christians,
what comes from?
Muslims, they were all living
Do
together.
you know where the name Israel is coming from?
Yes, I do know that.
Where is it coming from?
Jacob wrestled with an angel of God. He succeeded. Unfortunately, his hip socket.
Hold on. Jacob wrestled with God, not an angel of God.
Well, it's.
Are you ashamed of your own scripture that you don't say?
No, our interpretation of that is that he wrestled with an angel of God. He did not wrestle with God. God does not come down to be.
You guys even censor Torah?
No, we don't, but that's the way we learn it, okay? Now, I don't make fun of your interpretation of the things.
Are you guys Christian? You said you weren't Muslim, so I was asking, are you Christian?
Christians
Hold on,
worship
let me finish the
Jews.
story.
No,
So at the end
not.
of the wrestling, he said, your name will now be Israel, one who fought with God.
Look,
And so
is God for Yisra.
Christians, they worship Jews, so
okay,
we're not.
So as a Catholic, you're telling me that we worship Jews. I would love an explanation.
Who worship Jews? Are you Christian?
Yeah, Catholic particularly.
Oh, that's why you stand for Jews. Okay, I got.
No, I'm asking you. I'm asking you
it.
a direct question.
I can't hear you.
I'm asking.
I think Mormons have better internets.
Can you hear me at all?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
I'm asking a specific question. Hold on a second. Let me ask the question.
No. I'm running the show here. Wait a minute. My friend, I give you the mic. Don't worry. This title has nothing to do with the religion. Don't bring the religion up. What's your religion? Are you Muslim or no? Just talk about title. If you have info, we'd love to hear from you. That's about it.
Sure, you can ask me my beliefs on Israel, but she did make the claim. I want her to tell me how Catholics worship Jews, as we absolutely do not.
But that has nothing to do with the title.
Yeah.
Okay, so in other words, you couldn't defend your statement. Amazing.
I said the title. Say something.
Yeah, that's a way to save Carla.
Well, they stopped me too. They don't let me talk. They're moderating the room.
That's not the way to save Carla. It's the way to save chaos on Clubhouse. So people talk about
Sure, so, I mean...
unless you believe in anarchy.
No, well, to answer your
Anyways,
title...
do you have anything? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, sure. So, I mean, there's a bunch of things going on here. Now, number one, if I recall correctly, the birth rate is above replacement level in Israel.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a
TFR. It's like about 2.99.
So that's
higher
something.
than the industrialized country.
That's something to contend with, and every year you do get the people who make Aliyah. So I don't really know. Now you would have to show what I'm asking you guys, because I'm guessing you guys already did the math. Is can you show me that there's a higher net number of people leaving each year that are both being birthed and immigrating into Israel?
Can I read something? I asked this from ChatGPT.
Before you read
So
it, first of all, birth rate does not necessarily show that people are worried about the situation.
What?
People can have a lot of kids, and when those kids grow up, they feel like the situation is not livable.
Who's Bone?
Therefore, they leave.
Bone.
The fact that
I
the
don't know,
number
Bone.
of
Who
people
are you,
leaving
Bone?
is high
Who are you,
is
Boney?
the point here.
Is it higher than the number that are immigrating?
Hold on.
Wait,
hold
Candace,
on.
can I
You can
ask a
hold
question?
on. No. Hold on.
My
hold
husband
on.
got mad at me, you know.
You may even see in Africa.
Yeah, I'd get
a lot
angry
of
with you
people
too
are-
if you were my wife. I'd be like, can you delete that stupid fucking app so we could, maybe have a life together? This is pathetic. I didn't know you were such an addict to a fucking app on your cell phone, you little weirdo. Can you delete that shit, please? I didn't marry you to be on Clown House all day long. You fucking pathetic. And then my wife would be like, you're right, I'm gonna delete it, I'm gonna delete it.
A lot of people are
I'm gonna delete it, I'm gonna delete it, I swear to God, I'm gonna delete it soon. I'd be like, thanks babe, and then like a couple months later you're still using it. I'd be like, I thought we talked about this. And you're like, oh, you're gonna delete it, I swear.
population was growing.
About people complaining about their partners on Clubhouse
I have a
that
question.
did lead to divorces.
Would you agree that there's three components to look
I did
at?
see that happened, but no, like
population
he
change
was
without
complaining
taking
about
into
me
account
because he
people
thought I was
being
complaining
born in
about
the
him.
country. Just a movement
Yeah,
of
it's like
in
a
and out of the
cancer.
country. There's
Yeah,
those
but
that
you're the one
leave,
doing it to yourself.
Israelis that are leaving to
Yeah,
a whole
because
host
I'm
of
just
countries.
alone in the
That's one
universe, and I'm
category,
just so bored, so I
The second
created all
category
this.
is Israelis from a whole host of countries.
No, you don't understand
Coming
marriage.
back,
You're like an immature child.
That's
You're
bucket
retarded.
2. And bucket 3 is
I don't understand
people from a
anything. I
whole
don't
host
understand
of
the
countries
world. I don't
moving
understand
to Israel.
life. Like,
They
I
were
don't
never
understand
Israelis
like
before,
cooking
they couldn't
or
leave, and they weren't
anything.
Israelis before, so they couldn't be
Damn.
coming back.
That's probably because you're on
Third
Clubhouse all
category
day
is
long.
New immigrants, new olim as we call them, moving to Israel.
Get
So
it?
you have
Clubhouse
those
is an
three
opportunity
numbers.
cost. You're not experiencing anything.
The
This
first
is
one's gonna be
a black
negative,
hole vacuum. The
approximately
real world
80,000.
is the joy of life. This is
Back to
hell.
that, the people returning,
I don't
Israelis
believe in
returning,
hell.
and
Oh, you're in it right now.
newcomers coming in, you'll get the net
You think
outflow.
Clubhouse is hell?
Technically, yeah, it's the abyss. Because it's not the material world. Because I'm putting together a fucking podcast here.
Would you guys agree with that theory?
Hell, are you like a keeper?
Where do you think you make money?
Of the facts that I already told to Yaakov, but I'm going to repeat it for PP.
You don't need money in heaven, Danny.
You guys didn't acknowledge what he
Heaven's
said.
free.
How can you even have a discussion if you're just
I
not even acknowledge what the other person said?
Basically, yeah. Hell's now. Heaven's now.
I don't know. Maybe Candace, do you have any comment?
Hell's now and heaven is now?
Yeah.
No,
It just depends on what your attitude is.
Yeah,
think
but
that
maybe try to keep it short when you
But
say.
it could be heaven or
Okay, if
Clubhouse.
you want to see
Yeah, it can be.
how Israel's population is changing, excluding births.
But this
So
whole
just looking
like
at people
talking about
moving
Israel,
to
Palestine
and
all
from
day.
Israel, there's three buckets.
Tell.
I'm getting paid
Israelis
to do
leaving,
that.
Tell.
That's what I told someone today.
Israelis
When they really
returning
brought
from
it
a whole
up.
host of countries.
And just
That's
because I'm
bucket
Jewish
two.
doesn't mean I want to talk
Bucket
about
three
it.
is
Okay?
people from a whole host of countries that are making Aliyah or moving to Israel.
I'm
for the
moving to
first
Israel.
time. Those are the three buckets.
Okay,
Are you
let's
really?
talk about
Buckets
this
gonna
Yeah,
be the
in a
largest,
couple of years.
but the negative, like
Yeah,
2,000.
we read all those three
Just
numbers.
Do you think that I
There
should
was a
leave
negative
the United
6,000.
States?
Yeah, we read it.
Probably not.
Okay. The Times of Israel article that I have broken down was
Or
slightly
possibly
different.
Israel if I pass the site
Can
test.
I read this?
Yeah,
In October
Why do you want to move to Israel? I don't know. Somebody on a social audio chat app told me it might be like a good idea. So here I am.
Marking a 285% increase compared to the same period the previous year. In 2024, the Central Bureau, what is Bureau? Bureau of Statistics. Bureau of Statistics reported that 82,700 Israelis were registered as having left the country, up from around 50,000 the previous year. This represents a significant rise compared to the average of 35,000 annual departures in the preceding decade.
Right. That's the first number in the article I posted in the chat.
And these two are like the Times of Israel.
Right. So the first number, the 82,700 is negative. That's from the Times of Israel. Times of Israel that I posted in the chat. So that's the biggest. That's the outflow of Israelis going to other countries. Times of Israel. Yep. And then during the same period, all of 2024, 23,800 Israelis returned, and there was 32,800 new immigrants.
New immigrants from where?
All over the world, coming into Israel.
So is it like, are they like
first time
Jewish,
moving
or
to
they're
Israel?
from like other nationalities?
Most likely Jewish.
I'm good, man. I'm good. How was that? Sleep?
My wife's engagement ring just got stolen. We had somebody help pick up our house, which kind of a bummer for a Sunday.
Went overhead, kids.
Oh no! Did you have insurance?
I did have insurance, but I don't think it's going to because it was like $10K back in 2011. So it's gonna be I don't know. It probably appreciated a bit since then.
Diamonds don't appreciate, but you get paid out on how much the insurance policy is for.
Well, yeah, you do. But I'm saying you can't you can't replace it for that amount now. So yeah, we put it in, but
what on your homeowners?
It's still not gonna be able to. It's still not gonna be the actual value.
No.
Sentimental value and all that for.
I mean, I got engaged, and the girl, I broke up the engagement. The girl didn't give me the ring back, so I called Geico. I said, "Am I entitled to damages?" They said no. Then they called me back and they said, "Yes, she has to give you the ring back, or we're gonna give you the money." They gave me the money, and it was more than what I paid. I paid $14,500 for the stone, $1,700 for the setting, or $2,000. They sent me a check for like $24,000 because I was paying a premium on an inflated, jeweler's, whatever they call the statement. So it's appraisal. Yeah, I was paying on the appraisal price. So I actually made money on the diamond.
Speaking of overrated, Scott, I've been thinking how did our friends, the chosen people, get so unlucky with Yahweh? Of all the gods they could have gotten, how did they end up with this bird who kills children? That's what
I don't understand. God doesn't kill children. Humans kill other children. And right now it's Democrat lesbian abortionists.
In Exodus, he goes out of his way to kill Egyptian children. He tells Abraham to kill his own child. And then he tells the Israelites to kill the Amalekites. So he doesn't.
It's all a message for parents that get upset with their children. He's saying, don't kill your kids.
That's not the main essence of the design in Judaism.
There's nothing about killing every single soul on earth save Noah. I mean, he seems like a real turd. Like
Benjamin, stop complaining. The fact of the matter is you're a complainer, and the bigger question is, what would you do, Dr. Benjamin, if you had a son and God came out of the sky and said, kill him? What would you do?
Right, there's Abraham. I mean, what kind of a turd Abraham is, right? Like, everybody's got a bad dad, but how would you like for your dad to have been proposed that they kill you, and for your dad to have said, oh yeah, I'm game, I'm down with that. What do I need? Some sticks and a fire? Yeah, sure, let's go. And then later God says, dude, I was totally just testing you. I was totally just joking. Like, what the fuck?
It's not meant to be taken so literally.
It's complicated. Wait, Austin, are you under the impression that I'm being literal? Wait, is somebody under the impression that I'm being literal?
The theological concept is there's omnipotence and omnipresence. So that
I mean, if God were in your neighborhood, would you be on the registered offenders list? I feel like everybody in the neighborhood.
Benjamin, why don't you just look at it? Benjamin. Benjamin, why don't you just look at it from the perspective of a creative, meaning that as a publisher and a writer and author, if it's fiction, I mean, that is somebody's attempt at trying to, pass over some type of information. You don't think there's more to it than just that story? Like, the author of that is trying to say something.
The author is so fucking racist and genocidal. He's like, the Canaanites, fuck them, screw them, and kill them.
See, I don't think it has anything to do with racism or bigotry. You're just projecting that.
And their wives, and their goats, and their sheep, and their pets. If they keep fish, kill the fish.
Yeah, you just have derangement syndrome. You don't like that comic book. That's what you're bitching about, Dr. Benjamin. Don't you know? See how pathetic you are? You're complaining about a comic book.
Celebrate a God who kills Egyptian children because they're Egyptian and children. And I'm the one that's deranged? I think maybe
You don't like comic books. You're complaining about a comic book. That's how deranged you are. These people don't complain about it. They go, oh, wow, that's a great comic book.
His whole life is based on his belief in the Bible. Don't tell him it's a comic book.
I'm not telling him it's a comic book. I'm telling you it's a comic book. I'm reframing your bullshit in normal terminology.
Damn. Has a great amount of faith in the Bible and in God. And we have to.
That's because he likes it, you schmuck. Some people like certain things. You don't like other things, but it doesn't mean you're right. And it doesn't mean that what they like isn't important to them.
Yeah, I think genocide is exactly like that. Some people.
It's not about genocide. I bet you don't even know the name Abraham, what the hell that even means. Tell me your definition of Abraham, Benjamin.
I don't have much of any definition for
That's because you're a schmuck. You've never read anything about Abraham other than he's a genocider. He's a racist. Do you know how stupid you sound? You're like a child talking about comic books.
How is Abraham a genocider?
You are a fat, stupid child talking about comic books and complaining. You're pathetic beyond belief. You sound like Rosie O'Donnell, but fatter and stupider.
In the Bible about Abraham committing genocide. I don't know why you would blaspheme Abraham like that.
You don't even know what the name Abraham means, you schmuck.
I don't know what lots of names mean. Who cares?
Do you know what the name Benjamin means? You should figure it out, stupid.
Son of the right hand.
Also, there's also Abrahamic, which is the name for said scripture and or religion. Just saying.
Abrahamic, it means about or related to killing your own children.
Oh, you're so stupid. You're like a child. You're like a kid in a gas station taking a gas pump and just gaslighting everything. Gaslight, gaslight, gaslight. I'm a child. I'm a little kid. Let me gaslight genocide all over you with gasoline and light you on fire. Genocide and racist! Racist genocide!
He's gonna be okay. I heard.
That's not even funny. Really, it isn't.
I think it's pretty funny. I mean, I think Benjamin is a clown house hero, but a real world zero.
Anything coming out of any account with Dittman behind it is not funny.
Okay, Dr. JCC.
What is wrong with Dittman?
He's an asshat.
Wait, but he's just barely offensive. Like, if
You're projecting.
Asshole, you need Yahweh. Yahweh is the asshole here, and I just want to know
I said asshat.
What did Hebrews do to deserve
I didn't
this
say
particular
Benjamin, please.
of all the gods that were available?
Benjamin, you're almost an asshat as well. So anything that Dittman does is just asshattery. It's clownhood.
Yeah,
it's not worthy. Yeah.
See, I enjoy that. I enjoy his clownery.
I think it's ridiculous. So keep on keeping on.
Yeah, we'll try to be a comedian, JCC. Then we'll judge your comedy. But until you start, he laughed.
He was a comedian. Hey, wait, hold on. He was a comedian on Saturday when he made the most funniest joke I've ever heard.
What did Israelites do in the past life that they ended up with
Rabbi Caleb to come out and defend and speak against this anti-Semitism?
Of all the choices of gods available, they had Mayot, they had Saul, they had 1,000 gods. How did they end up with this clown who was like telling their founder to kill his own son? And how did they not see the red flags come out? And then he tells them to kill the Amalekites, and they didn't see the flags come out. And he kills all the Egyptian children. Like, could have killed Pharaoh. Nope. Kills all the Egyptian children.
Could you imagine 2,025 years later, some fat guy gets a cell phone from some software engineer in Taiwan, and he's complaining about something from 2,000 years ago? What are the chances of that? On a Sunday on top of it, when you could be watching TV or doing something fun, you're complaining about genocide and racism on the altar of Abraham. Oh, they!
About genocide.
I'm not. You're the one always gaslighting the word genocide. Racism, bigotry. Abraham was a murderer.
Well, no, he was tested. They gave him a psychological...
No, he was a genocider like all the other ones. They were all genociders. They chose the bad God.
Yes, I would be happy to kill my own child. Give me the wood. Let's go. Where do you want him killed? Oh, at the top of the hill. Okay. Well, let's get our asses up there so we can do it.
I don't think you could do 10 push-ups, let alone walk up 10 steps, Dr. Benjamin.
Hey, Christian, how are you doing?
Spectacular. How about you?
Wow. Good. Are you wrapped up because I've got a little bit of genocidophobia tonight?
No, I'm not. I don't know what you're speaking of, sir.
Oh. Hey, have you ever heard of the Bible? Some people have read it.
The Bible? Hold on, let me think real quick. Let me use my critical thinking skills. Oh yeah, I know that book. Yeah, what about it?
Do you hear there's a God Yahweh in the Bible who kills Egyptian children and tells the Israelites to kill Amalekite children?
I've heard.
Oh, okay. You want to share your general, just first impression thoughts about a God who orders genocide?
Hey, wait, Christian, before you answer that, Dr. Benjamin, I have a question for you. What do you think this passage from the book of Hebrews means? It says, "For the word of God is alive and active, sharper than any double-edged sword. It penetrates even to dividing soul and spirit, joints and marrow. It judges the thoughts and attitudes of the heart." What do you think that means, Dr. Benjamin?
Well, I was asking Christian how he felt generally about genocide, so I just wanted to get a read on that.
Wait, Christian, before you answer his question, I just want to quote Psalm 119. It says, "How can a young person stay on the path of purity by living according to your word?"
Wait, Nikki, Nikki, what were you trying to say? I couldn't hear you.
I don't know why he's asking you that question.
Well, hold on. So he wanted to know what my thoughts were on genocide, just generally. What's your problem with it, man? I just want to learn.
Because we all know where it's going, and I can tell you where it's going. But if you want to engage in that kind of bullshit conversation, by all means.
Well, I know where it's going. Trust me, I know Benjamin's
Take us there. Save some time.
I just don't think it's an appropriate question to be asking you.
Wait, you don't think that every young man
No.
be clear in his mind about where he stands on genocide?
No, because the genocide is not happening, so stop trying to indoctrinate the young minds. Okay?
He's not saying, Nikki, he's not saying genocide in Israel. He's saying genocide in the Hebrew Bible, like with Yahweh commanding, or the Lord commanding Israel. Basically, the Lord sending the angel of death to kill all the firstborn of the Egyptians. He's saying that's genocide.
And the command of the Amalekites.
And the killing of the Amalekites. He's not talking about Israel right now. Modern day Israel. He asks us this all the time, that anybody that's a Christian or a Jew, he doesn't,
this Benjamin is so fucking stupid. He thinks Star Wars was real, that Luke Skywalker actually destroyed the Death Star. That's how fucking stupid Benjamin is.
Wait, Christian, are you stupid enough to believe that the Bible is real?
Am I stupid enough to believe?
That's how fucking stupid Benjamin is.
Like the things in the that are written in the Bible that they believe.
Restate your question.
Are the stories in the Bible historic or
Are you asserting, Benjamin, there's nothing historic in the Bible?
Well, there is. There's plenty of historic things in the Bible.
There's plenty of historic things. So when God kills the Egyptian children, is this a history?
Hold on,
or is
when
this
did
a
God
fantasy?
kill Egyptian children?
Nikki, if you don't know the
No,
answer to that,
I'm
you just
serious.
can't participate in this
I want to make
conversation.
sure I'm not confusing this with something else. So can you elaborate? When did God kill Egyptian children?
2000 BC, maybe?
No, but what was the
Maybe 1000?
like what was it about? Is it have to do with the holiday of Passover? Is that what it is?
It has to do with Exodus.
But is that about Passover? Why we celebrate Passover? How
I
death
think that's
passed
right.
over the Jews?
I think that's right, yeah.
So it was Pharaoh that actually put that plague. You know that, right? Pharaoh put that own plague, thinking it was only going to affect the Hebrews or the Jews. Did you know that part?
Oh, Nikki doesn't read.
I do
I get it now. Doesn't read. Okay. Christian, do you take the events in Exodus to be historic, a true and accurate account of God's actions in the Middle East?
Why do you listen to this guy? He's been obsessing on this for months now. He's got a screw loose in his brain. Why do you listen to him?
I find
What are you talking
it's
about?
interesting. I find him entertaining. I mean,
I'm talking about the screw loose in your brain. Which part of the sentence did you not understand?
Why nobody will let Christian answer speak for himself about whether he favors
Christian
Because,
speaks for
first of all,
himself.
opposed to himself.
You're speaking to a minor, and we're adults, and we're protecting him. So I don't think you should be having that kind of conversation with a child.
Wait, hold on, Benjamin.
Christian, you feel you need to be protected from taking a moral
Benjamin,
stand
before
against-
Benjamin, before I answer that question, let me address Nikki real quick. Nikki, I have addressed several topics on this app revolving the Bible. I've debated it. I've talked about it on.
It's not about the topic, Christian. You're missing it, and I don't mean to be rude. I'm really not trying to come at you. I'm a mother. I'm coming at you from a mother's perspective.
Yeah.
I have a 14-year-old daughter, a 16-year-old son, and a 24-year-old son, and I don't want any of them on this app. So for you to be on this app to deal with the disgustingness that is on this app, I don't understand it. And I think that whatever Benjamin is trying to do with you right now, Benjamin, nobody's talking to you. Benjamin, nobody's talking to you.
We're just dealing with what's in the
No,
Bible.
you need to. You're obsessed with that question. You need to move on.
I'm obsessed with the Bible. I live in the West. What book do you
I
think the
don't
president
mind
puts his hand
Benjamin's
on when he
obsession.
swears to become the president? What the hell makes you think I'm the one that's obsessed? What book do they give you in the court?
It's because you never stop talking about it and you fixate on one aspect of it like a crazy person.
Before you give reports in court, what one book do they give you to put your hand in? And you say, I'm obsessed with it.
Benjamin, you're not onto anything new, dude. Everybody knows this shit, man.
We were trying to get whether Christian can and enunciate his moral views on genocide.
Why can't you have conversations about moral topics without actually trying to target an individual within the conversation?
Yeah, especially a kid. Go focus on somebody your own age, first of all.
Right? That's all I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to come at Christian in any way.
No, I understand that, Nikki. I respect you. I respect you, Nikki.
Because you know what? If it were my 14-year-old on this app, I'd want somebody to stand up for them if I wasn't around.
Oh yeah, for sure. I totally understand.
Kristen, do you feel that you need people to protect you from taking a moral
Benjamin,
stand?
I think you really need to stop addressing him like that and just understand what the adults in the room are saying. And stop trying to go at a child. Because now it's getting creepy. Now it's getting creepy.
Yeah, talk about what you think, Benjamin. Take your own positions. Don't try to force other people to take a position. It's rude.
And by the way, it's circumstantial. As for protection.
Christian, do you?
Ooh, circumstantial. I like it.
In this room, Benjamin,
you want to be given more time, Christian, to reflect on how you
Benjamin,
feel about
I think he wants you to leave him alone, Benjamin. I think he wants you to leave him alone.
Christian, if that's a difficult question and you need more time, like
I think he wants you to leave him alone. Are you not reading the room?
Whether you have an opinion on
this?
I think Christian would
I think one of the three mods needs to move him back down to the audience because he's not understanding what any of us are saying and he's continuing to engage with a child when all of the adults in this room are telling him to stop because at this point it's very creepy.
I mean, and he's gotten thrown out of every other room, but this is like the end of the line for him, so he's now focusing on somebody younger than him.
I don't understand why any of the mods are not doing anything. Like, Cora, you're agreeing with me, but yet you're not doing anything about it, and you're a mod.
Well, I'm trying to give. First
Nikki,
of all,
how about you don't try to give creepy people like that and just
Nikki,
kick them?
First of all, I'm somewhere in between. Christian does have agency. If he wants to answer the question, he can. I could still think it's inappropriate for Benjamin to be targeting any individual.
So then, as a mod,
instead of just taking his own position on something and defending it.
On this app, where there are no children, and this app is not intended for children, and you're a mod, do the adult thing and get rid of this stuff. Because if you don't, then you know what, you're right up there with Benjamin, in my opinion.
You know,
you agreed with me when I said
moderators, if you could put me in the queue, I'd like to say something about Benjamin, if I may, please.
Oh God! Now you've activated Edmund. Like this.
Listen, Benjamin is a troll. He's retarded. He's stupid. He's retarded.
You're enabling Benjamin now.
Nikki, as a moderator, what I'm hearing right now are three very insistent, narcissistic, histrionic personalities on the fucking stage trying to control everything, and you're one of them.
Projecting! You're projecting, Cora!
Instead of calling me a narcissist. Because if I was...
Okay, hold on.
Been gone.
Hold on. I understand, Nikki's viewpoint, so let's relax real quick, just please. Because I would like to address, not Benjamin, but General, I'm just going to make this clear. Cora, you know how mean you are. But I'll say this, right? Nikki's goal is this, right? It's not the topic of the conversation that she's looking at. It is because, according to her, and I'm going to quote this and tell me if I'm wrong, but you said, quote, "You are targeting a child," close quote. That's the position she's taking. Now, Benjamin, according to him, is asking a general question. So we have to look at it from both sides of the table here. We got to look at it from both sides of the table. Now, if the question shall not be answered, I will not answer the question. But if the answer shall be answered, then I will answer the question. It's a majority rule here.
Breaking news, Elon Musk is holding a town hall in Green Bay at this very moment.
Oh, God.
Well, for Open Door, I mean, the bank vault was open, and the criminals ran right in and took the money, and they took it away from our seniors. Right? So what happened is, like, my dad's 84, he'd go get his check supposed from the bank account, wasn't there, they just got to go through a whole process to get the money back from the government, which takes a long time. It's the government, right? So we put in a very simple 2FA system. All this nonsense you see in the media about, we turned off the phone lines, whatever, not true. All they did, actually, we recommended to Social Security that they put in a very simple 2FA system, and they will...
Two-factor authentication.
Two-factor authentication. They safeguard at the banks. Like, pretty simple. You have a bank account, you do this, and you know what? They did it. They said, yeah, you're right, we should do that. They went and did it. Good for them, they did it. No one had the will to do it, they did it. And they're going to keep increasing security. We gave them a lot of recommendations, and they're on the road.
Then go talk to your daughter. Leave another child alone.
Begin to scratch it.
Benjamin.
Ages what? 87 and 47.
Benjamin. They're just not interested in the question, dude.
Some young person.
You know, somehow the rooms always ends up being about Benjamin because he's such a good troll.
So I don't understand
Just
why
don't give him any attention.
And the room did everything they could to put
Benjamin, fuck off. Your questions are retarded, man.
Dancing on stage showing a chart of Tesla stock, which is a really awful thing for him to do. You know, because what they're trying to do is put massive pressure on me and Tesla, I guess, to you know, I don't know, stop doing this. But you know, it's you know, my Tesla stock and the stock of everyone who holds Tesla went roughly in half. I mean, it's a big deal. So not only am I not getting I'm not getting paid, I'm definitely not stealing money and would never get away with it. But the value of my Tesla stock is in half. So this is a very expensive job, is what I'm saying. But I think it's you're welcome. Thank you very much, guys. But long term, I think Tesla stock's going to do fine. You know, maybe it's a buying opportunity. But the actual thing we're doing is making sure that people do get their Social Security and that it doesn't get stolen.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah. So go ahead.
Elon, I got a question for you about Dodge.
Great shit.
Everybody in this room has got a bunch of money sitting in a bunch of little boxes in a bunch of different states. And it turned into crickets when you brought it up online that you were going to go check our gold. And I'm worried about the Democrats and Joe Biden's last administration with the money not being there. Did you get blocked, or are you still able to go check that?
So I'm not sure I understand exactly what you're referring to.
Fort Knox.
Oh, Fort Knox. Oh, yeah, right. Oh, yeah. Well, that's up to the president, of course. But I think it would be, I think it would be awesome to live stream Fort Knox. You know, I mean, that would be really fun. And after all, it is actually the gold of the American people. So the American people should, it seems to me, have a right to see their gold. You know, hopefully it looks really cool. You know, you open the doors, like, is it there? Like, is that really gold? Let's check. You know, so maybe it'll be really interesting. I'm all for it. The president says he's interested in doing it, so hopefully that happens. So, all right.
Good evening, Mr. Musk. How are you?
Good. How's it going?
Good. My name is Vito Gabriel. I'm 18 years old. This is my first election that I'll be voting in. So
great.
Very excited.
Oh, actually, that reminds me. So it is actually possible to both register to vote on Tuesday. If someone has not registered to vote, they can register to vote in Wisconsin, and they can vote the same day. So even if somebody's not a registered voter, you can do everything on Tuesday.
So, a bit backstory. When I was younger, 8 years old to be exact, my father put me to work in my family's restaurant. And it led me to want to start my own business and to be successful just like you. And in my opinion, you're one of the most successful businessmen to ever live. And so, what advice would you give to young entrepreneurs who want to start their own businesses and give back to this great country?
Well, sure. Well, it is very hard to start a business and have it succeed. it is true that most businesses that start do not succeed. So, I guess I'd really just say, if there's a product or service that you think is really needed, then you go out and you make that product, or you produce that service, offer that service, and try to be as useful as possible, really. It's like whether, it's a great restaurant or store or a technology company or whatever the case may be. It's really just like, are you doing things that are useful to your fellow human beings? And if you are, then I think the company will be successful. So that's really what it comes down to, is just being useful. Like, people ask me, like, what's the top advice? I'm like, try to be useful. It's actually very difficult to be useful. But I have a lot of admiration for anyone who just does an honest day's work. Making products or producing services for their fellow human beings. That's what a company is. That's it. So, but it is hard. To be totally frank, like, I generally say, if somebody needs encouragement to start a company, I would recommend not starting a company. It's very difficult. Like, if you look at, say, the automotive industry, the only two American car companies that have not gone bankrupt are Tesla and Ford. So it's a big cemetery, is what I'm saying. So that's a tough one, very, very tough industry. And there were really no commercial rocket companies that were successful before SpaceX. It's generally very difficult to make the value of the output exceed the cost of the input, and that's really what defines a successful business. And profit is really the difference between the value of the output and the cost of the input. That's what profit is. But it's like shockingly hard to make the output more valuable than the input. That's what I found. So, all right.
Hi, Elon. Thank you so much for being here. Would you agree with me that the economic illiteracy in this country is staggering? That people don't understand how close we are for the ship of America to going over the fiscal cliff?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. Most people, actually, I think a lot of people don't know what a national debt is. How did this national debt come about, and how come there's all this money that somehow we owed, but we didn't sign up to owing this money? But there's, it's over $30 trillion of national debt, and that doesn't count future obligations. And that's just, then it doesn't count state and local debt. So it's a lot of money that the government has signed everyone in America up for. So there's, if we don't do something about it, then eventually there won't be any money for anything. We'll just be paying interest. A company, sorry, I should say, a country is much like a person. It's just bigger. A country is a collection of people. But just like a person can go bankrupt, a country collectively can also go de facto bankrupt, essentially by diluting the currency to where it's worthless. And that's where we're headed unless we are to take immediate and dramatic action with respect to government spending. We're in deep trouble, basically.
You've seen this in places like Venezuela.
Yeah, exactly. So you see in a lot of countries where it's things have gone to hell in a handbasket, and it's like we just need to not do that, So if the ship of America sinks, we all sink with it. This is something that I try to tell people in the sort of commercial sector, that you're not gonna, your company's not gonna make it if the ship of America sinks. So we all got to work together here to make sure it does not. Yeah. Antonio, feel free to ad-lib as you wish.
I know.
Sure.
This is the only place left to go. That's great.
Right, exactly. I don't think we can run off to some other country to be okay. It's America. I will die in America. I'm not going anywhere.
I will too.
I mean, I might go to Mars, but that'll be part of America. Yeah.
Hi, Elon. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be here today with us in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I just want to say that Doja's findings demonstrate to the American people that the government clearly does not care about our hard-earned tax dollars. I'm only 26, but I can imagine it's frustrating for people who have worked their entire lives to see their tax dollars going to fraud, waste, and abuse. And you alone have contributed so much money to our government
Yes.
via taxes, so thank you.
You're welcome.
But I'm sorry that your money's not being spent very well. You've clearly shown your leadership and team is capable of transforming our government into something better than what we see today. I just want to say I'm sure I'm not the only one who's wondering, but we know that Doge has found quite a bit of money, and we would like to see some of that returned to the American people. Do you have any information on when Doge checks would be written or sent out?
Sure. Well, I guess we need to be successful at scale. We've made a lot of progress, but there's still a tremendous amount of work to do. Effectively, as government spending is made more efficient and spending is reduced, the tax by inflation is reduced. One way or another, you will effectively be better off if resources in the United States are not wasted. And it's somewhat up to the Congress and maybe the president to as to whether specific checks are cut, but whether a check is cut or not, if you reduce wasteful spending, the economy is going to be better off. People will do more useful jobs than before. The total output of goods and services will increase, and then the average standard of living will increase. So that's yeah. I think the most important lesson in economics is simply common sense, that the more people in a country that are engaged in producing useful products and services, the better off that country will be. You could run the sort of thought experiment to say, in the limit, if we moved everyone in the car industry into the DMV, there would be no cars, but there would be a lot of regulators. So then you say, then how many people should be in the government versus not government? And generally, I think you want to minimize the number of people in government. There's still be a lot of people in government, but you want to keep that to a minimum and move people from low to negative productivity roles to high productivity roles in the private sector. Yeah.
Hey, Elon. So the first time I heard about population collapse, I think was from you on Joe Rogan. I grew up in the generation where it was very overpopulation, global warming. A lot of people don't want to have kids. My wife and I just had our first. She's a year. Hi, Amelia. Hi, John. Thank you. And I'm finding out very quickly a lot of these things I was told about having kids, losing personal freedom, it's well worth it. I mean, I would recommend it to everybody, as I'm sure you would. And we've
Absolutely. I've been banging the baby drum for ages.
Yes. So my question to you is, what's the most surprising and fulfilling thing you've learned from your kids? Especially, we've seen you around X all the time with Trump. So what's your most fulfilling thing you've learned from having kids?
X is in the back there. So always watching this, hopefully. Yeah, I think I think nothing makes you happier than kids. Really, is the truth of it. So, kids are my greatest source of happiness, and I really encourage, as Antonio knows, I encourage all my friends and everyone to have kids. It is concerning. The United States has been below replacement rate. The birth rate in the United States has been below replacement rate since roughly when I was born, around 1970, 71, thereabouts. And I think last year was the lowest birth rate on record. It was very low. And then we're seeing this trend in almost every country on Earth. This is worrying because it's like, well, if something doesn't happen, humanity is going to disappear. So it's, I think, very important to have kids. Kids will make you very happy, and there's also like, we got to keep humanity going here. No humans, no humanity. It's like
you preaches too, by the way. He's having lots of kids.
Sorry?
You practice what you preach, and yeah, for sure. And he tells all his friends to do it too. I can tell you that for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Hi, thanks for coming. My name's Adam. I'm a postal worker. I'm wondering if you could give some insight into some of the reforms or changes that DOJ might be looking at for the Postal Service.
Well, actually, maybe perhaps I could ask you what should DOJ be doing with respect to the Postal Service?
I'll write you a letter.
Okay. I suspect you've seen that things are not entirely perfect in the Postal Service.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, it's delivering mail and packages is very important. There's a reason for why the Postal Service was created. But I haven't really had a chance to look at the Postal Service yet. But okay.
I have a little detail on the analysis if you want.
Do you do?
A little bit.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that. I want to be very general here, but there is this thing about you could tell us there's this thing about large volume users of Postal Service versus small volume users, right? So like some company, please.
I've heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you probably see it, right? Like you see, there are some companies in the world that use Postal Service a lot and pay the same rate as everybody in this room that uses it a little bit. Does that seem fair to you? You see it on the front line.
I can't really say.
Well, I can't say because he works there.
Oh, you work there. Okay. Doesn't seem fair to me. I don't work there.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a bunch of questions about this people are asking that I think are interesting analysis, and when you look at the source of truth and the data, and you make that transparent, I think it's gonna be obvious what the right answers are.
Yeah, it seems like some companies are not being charged the right amount for package delivery, and there's probably more administrative overhead than there should be. Would be some safe guesses, I suspect.
Those are good guesses.
Yeah.
Yeah, good guesses.
All right.
Elon, how are you?
Yo, good.
Hey.
How's it going?
It's Adam, your #1 reply guy on X. And I'm here with Scott Presser. It's good to finally meet in person.
Cool.
So I'm glad you like a lot of my stuff.
Yeah.
You're constantly replying to my stuff, liking my stuff, and I love to create material because I'm a former Democrat myself, just like you.
Yeah.
And I want to help bring over moderate voters from the Democrat Party who are disenfranchised.
Yeah.
And I'd love to be able to create more content to help you out, to help us win more elections, to win the midterms of 2028, on
Sounds
and so
good.
on. Would I be able to get a follow from your maid because you followed me from your alt cyber gamer?
Oh, I did. Okay. At this point, yeah, sure. I'll do that. Sure. I mean, it's right now. I used to only follow maybe a few hundred accounts, and it was possible to read most of what they posted. But now I think I follow like 1,100 accounts, which makes it impossible. So like it's just like I can only see a few things that people post at random, essentially. Yeah, but I'm trying to digest as much information as my human brain can manage. But yeah, thank you for your engagement, and just in general, like trying to report on what's really happening is great. Thank you.
Mr. Musk, thank you so much for being here and bringing attention to what's going on with our Supreme Court here. It's very important, and I think it would have gotten no attention, not even half of what it's getting now, if you hadn't stepped in, for good or bad, the negative press and good press. We thank you for that.
Exactly. Totally. I mean, obviously, for any kind of special election, is going to get a small fraction of the attention of say a presidential election, and then normally an election for a judge would not be that big of a deal. It just so happens that in this case, it could decide the control of the U.S. House of Representatives, which is a huge deal. Yeah.
My personal experience with Judge Crawford, I am a family that she moved a pedophile right next to our home.
Really?
Yeah, it is a true story in the ads that you're hearing from Mr. Schimmel. I am one of the homeowners that had to live next to him for many years, unaware. So the letter that I wrote to her, I'm sure, played into what we're experiencing now in family court. We're veterans 20 years. It just was not good for him. It was not good for me. And we're trying to work through our family court situation. But what we're realizing is the two strategies that they use are indoctrination or intimidation. And if you step up and say, we're a practicing Catholic family, the result is her band of merry rogue judges and the court affiliates and the commissioners will flood the family court, have flooded the family court system. So I guess my question would be, regardless of what happens with this very important vote, let's not forget what's happening in the family court system in Dane County, Wisconsin, that's being flooded with these rogue judges and affiliates and commissioners who then, if you don't subscribe to what they're saying, they will just wipe out your ability to raise your family or proceed with your family in a way that you feel your culture dictates, your religion dictates, your financial background dictates. It has gone completely bananas. And I'm wondering what you can do to keep the light shine on our court system in Dane County. It does have lasting effect on families, and it will breed out our ability to raise our families in the spirit in which we feel is most healthy for our young, our children, and the sanctity of our family.
Absolutely. I think that's fundamental to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, which is the foundation of America. That you should have control over your family, not the state. The state should not have control of your family. It's insane that people would think that. So
we've had friends have to escape California because of this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally had to leave because the state tried to take their kids because they're imposing the state's values on the kids. And they literally had to leave overnight. More than one friend, we've had the story.
Really? There's a thing, a change the law in California where if the teachers determine that it's in the kid's interest, like if you don't respect, 10-year-old's pronouns or something, the state can take your kid in California. So it's insane. It's state forced indoctrination, and if you don't match their whatever the state wants, then they can take your kid in California. It's a big deal. Yeah, exactly. So it should just be families should have control over their own circumstances, and it should not be the government that decides how your children should be raised.
Hey, Len. My name is John.
There's a lot of questions I see.
There is.
We're going to answer everything at this point.
I'm sorry.
Please go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Thank you for taking the questions. Though there's a lot of people I agree. So I was wondering. I noticed that there was a second Mechzilla being built at the Starbase. Are we going to go for launch for the Artemis mission coming up?
I mean, that's a very, very sort of space question. So there are there are 2 towers in South Texas, and then we're planning to build 2 towers at the Cape in Florida, and then probably some more elsewhere in the future. But there'll be twin towers at the Cape and twin towers in South Texas, the Starbase. So, all right.
Hey, Elon. Good to meet you. Thank you for everything you're doing for the country and the world.
Okay, thank you.
I have 2 questions. They asked me to keep it short.
Sure.
One, when do you envision solving blindness and bringing it to the masses, where it'll be for everyone? And the other is, is robotaxi on schedule?
Yeah. Well, there's certainly a wide range of questions tonight. Yes. So for Neuralink, we've actually had Neuralink has had in monkeys a working device we call Blindsight, where it's been working well and monkeys are healthy for a few years now, and we're hoping later this year to do our first device implant for human, enabling someone who is completely blind to see. It's going to be low res at first, like Atari graphics, so I want to set expectations appropriately. So it'll start off with like very low res, but then over time, I think eventually the implant would enable vision that's like superhuman. So that'd be pretty cool. And then things are currently on track to do unsupervised full self-driving in Austin in June. So I think we probably will take maybe 4 more questions. So just 2 from that side and 2 from that side, and then we'll call it a night. So go ahead.
Oh, thank you so much. First of all, you are beyond absolutely legendary and an absolute true hero. So thank you so much for everything you're doing, achieving, accomplishing. You've done so many impossibles. It is astonishing. Thank you. But my name is Brian Wright, and I've been filming from last year all the way into this year a docu-series on finding peace. And during this election year, the episode was how many lines do we actually need to cross in order to be able to find peace? And I wanted to ask you, where do you feel like we are in this divide? Are we so far divided as to where there's no coming back to the middle? Or where do you see us being?
Yeah, we should restore the Smith-Mundt Act so that the government cannot spy or issue propaganda to the people. I don't know. I mean, I kind of thought that we were headed in a good direction for a while there, and then the last month or so, there've been these like crazy violent things happening against Tesla and protesting me and whatnot, and I'm like, this is just nuts, and a lot of people sort of parading signs around saying that that President Trump and Elon Musk should die type of thing, and I'm like, this is really nuts, But I think the real issue is who's organizing and funding that, like the same people that organized and funded the infiltrators, who were the hecklers earlier tonight. So it's whoever they are, and I guess we know some of their names, but it's really, Soros and a bunch of others. I'm not sure really sometimes I wonder, what is their goal? Like, what's their aim? I guess, is it communism, I guess, is a part of it, or just, I don't know. Sometimes I wonder, have they thought through what if let's say they got their goal, then what, So, I don't know, I'm hopeful that things calm down, that there's, that people engage in, dialogue, but not violence, and that if for those who do push violence and destruction of property and intimidation, obviously that they need to face legal consequences for that. And the president has said that that needs to happen. Obviously, if people are pushing violence and destruction of property, that is against the law, and they need to face the consequences of that. So, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Elon. I constantly hear that the Doge efforts are going to do things like take away Social Security payments and reduce other government payments like that. You've touched on it tonight, but can you state you've discussed it at length over the last few months.
Yeah.
Can you talk again about how the Doge efforts are actually going to affect things like the payments and other programs like that?
Yeah, I guess it would be helpful because so I can just state it as crisply and clearly as possible that Doge will absolutely ensure that people get their Social Security, make sure they get their Social Security, make sure they get their Medicaid, and will not be cutting any legitimate payments whatsoever. Crystal clear.
I will just add to this. I've been there, working there, and I spent about the first 3 or 4 weeks of my time in Woodlands actually working in Social Security Administration. 100% what Elon is saying is true. Nothing has happened on the ground that would impact the level of payments going to people that legitimately are owed those payments, period. A lot is going to happen to people that are stealing from the system. Yeah. They're not getting the payments. And you know who's screaming? They are. Because they're committing fraud. And we should take that away from them. Because they're stealing from all of us in this room and our parents. And they're going to scream loud. And it's going to get louder.
But thank you for asking that question, because it is something that, as obvious as it sounds, it's a great question, because we just need to be very crisp and clear. Doge will make sure you get your Social Security. Doge will make sure you get your Medicaid. There will be no cuts to legitimate payments whatsoever.
I'd like to go last, if it's okay with the other gentleman. Would you like to go, sir? Please go.
Thank you. Mr. Musk, thank you so much for coming to Wisconsin. I just want to thank you for calling out bad ideas on X. You do that like every 30 minutes, and if I don't see something, I'm like, wow, is Elon okay?
Yeah.
And we all know that ideas of consequences and bad ideas have victims, and thank you for speaking up for victims. And a few nights ago when you spoke with Brett Baer, when you were being interviewed, and he asked you what keeps you up at night, and like that other question, you answered, and you paused, and it was depopulation. And I was waiting for you to say, like, oh, the death threats against my life, or the national debt, but depopulation.
Yes. Depopulation is a really big deal.
It's not on people's radar. Why is that?
Well, I think we haven't yet evolved to deal with depopulation. It's I guess
Social Security payments.
It's something we better evolve to deal with, or we're going to disappear. And once the depopulation wall starts rolling, it seems to gather up speed. I mean, you can look at sort of cases like Korea and Japan, which are, much further ahead or behind, depending on how you look at it. But like the population decline there is much worse. Japan is an absolute population decline, so they're losing about, I think, roughly 1 million people a year population, and that's going to accelerate. Korea has only a third replacement rate, which means that in 3 generations, the country will be 3 or 4% of its current size. Like basically, all that'll be left is a small portion of the capital city. And I keep waiting for the birth rate to turn around, but it doesn't. It seems like population collapse accelerates. And that's why I think it's a very serious matter. If you believe in humanity at all, you should care about this a lot. And then, that's sort of, but that's a sort of long-term thing. And the short-term thing is that America needs to be financially solvent. that's what Doge is about, trying to just make sure America is financially solvent. And then there's also the risks of AI. So we want to make sure that that AI is maximally truth-seeking, and ideally has sort of values that most Americans would agree with. And that it's a pro-human AI, that it wants to foster the future of humanity. Those are the things that I think about. So, thanks.
My name is Matt Haas, like Bonanza, Big Haas. I own and operate a small business here in the Fox Valley. And tomorrow I actually get the honor and the privilege to host Brad Schimmel at our shop, Springhetti Landscaping. Great. If anyone's in the valley,
sounds good. Come
down 4:30 tomorrow. We're having a shindig to have Brad stop by. He's going to come and give a little speech, get some. That's what this was about. Was Brad's election.
Yes.
And so I just wanted to say, in your opinion, what is Brad going to do for small business owners like myself?
Well, I think he's going to help get the government off your back. So that's a big deal. For anyone that starts a business, it's like you used to just be able to open a store and not get like a zillion permits and licenses and everything. That's how America, you wanted to make a product, you just made the product. And you didn't have to satisfy a massive body of regulations and get permission from all sorts of agencies. So hopefully, Justice Schimmel is, supports that and helps get the government off your back. All right. So let me finish by saying, obviously, yeah, there's a state level will be cool. But just remember, like the importance of the election on Tuesday is gigantic. It could decide the future of the House of Representatives. It could decide then the future of America and the future of the world. So it's absolutely critical that you need to just drag friends and family to vote on Tuesday for Justice Schimmel and for voter ID. So, thank you. Thank you, guys.